Hey guys, what's up? Eddie Aho here with KissAnalog.com. Today, I got a good video, I hope. I hope it's a video that will help you guys start using your FFT and show you why you want to, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to go into oscilloscope mode, the normal mode, where you have voltage versus time, right? So you get those nice sine waves. And we're going to start off with, I think, a 5 kilohertz tone wave. You know, we're going to put some voltage on there, and then we're going to drop that voltage down until we can't see it anymore, okay? And so let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can go down the millivolts. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the trick. It's not really a trick, but I'm going to show you the FFT and how you can actually capture that signal and still read it. I think we can do that. So we're going to come over here and try it, okay? We're going to use this GWS tech. It's a MDO 2204 EG. The 22, it's a 200 meg scope, 4 channel, so 2204. And we're also going to look at this PicoScope. That's an 8-bit scope. This is a 12-bit scope. It's actually can go to 14 bits. So the difference is when you're drawing that waveform, you know, between all those little points, all those samples, you can sample 256 times in your window slices in 8-bit scope. In a 12-bit scope, you can go 4,000 times. That's 16 times more. That's a lot. So that's crazy. This is actually a 14-bit. It can go 12 and 14. 14-bit is like 16,000 times, roughly. I mean, rounding them off a little bit, but 16,000, a little over that, I think. But so 16,000 is crazy number compared to 256. Here's the thing, is what we're going to end up running into is it's kind of an E-knob thing where that's ENOB, so effective number of bits. Okay, that's what that means. So what's the effective number? Maybe my 14 is really only 12, and that'd be great. I get 4,000 bits, usable bits. Might be less than that. You can look at the ADD chip and you can say, what's that ADD chip do? And the effective noise, you know, if we knew what the chip number was, it would tell us, and it might say a 12 bit's really only 9-bit or 8-bit. Okay, so what's an 8-bit? So the effective number is, because of the noise floor and that chip that sits inside there, the analog, or analog to digital conversion chip, the ADD chip, that chip also has to get the signal from the scope probe input through an amplifier and some stuff to get to that chip. So there's some noise and stuff created in there, and so the effective number of bits inside the chip is actually less because of that noise. So, all scopes have this, and it's just a function of scopes. The point is when you're looking at really small signals, you're going to have some noise, that grassy stuff, and your signal will get lost in that. So, enough talk. Let's bring the camera over, show the scopes, and see how they compare. Okay? Let's be fun. It'll also show you that 8-bit, you can actually get some pretty darn good performance. Let's do it. All right, guys, so this is the audio precision analyzer, all right? And right now we have 500 millivolts, okay? And we're going to drop this signal down. It's a 5 kilohertz signal. We're going to drop it down and see how low we can see it, all right? So there is the waveform, all right? I'll try to come up close. All right, guys, so I've got this at 500 millivolts per division. I'm reading a 556 millivolt signal, okay? Now, I would generally blow this up a little bit bigger so I could get the full use of the screen and the full use of my 8-bit. But for now, since we're just, I'm going to start dropping voltage, and we're going to drop this down too. So here's the max min. Here's the frequency, 499. It kind of bounces between 5K and 4.995 or 9, okay? So there's that. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to hit this little button right here and lower it 400 millivolts, okay? There we go. Now I lowered it to 315. The trigger's starting to kind of jump around. 250. So we're going to go a little faster. Okay, there's 40 millivolts. Now let's expand this. Okay, I can go to 10 millivolts per division. Let's go down some more. Look at that. Still see it. I'm all the way down to 10 millivolts. That's a 10 millivolt signal. This is 10 millivolts per division. Now, the peak value is, it's kind of bouncing around. It's kind of hard to see a little bit. Now I could try to trigger on this. Sometimes easier to trigger on the top. I go to some noise filters and stuff like that. But here, let me see. I just want to see how low I can go. Okay, 8 millivolts, 6.3, 5 millivolts, 4 millivolts. I mean, the noise floor of the scope is kind of getting in the way, right? We're at 2.5 millivolts. Okay, 2.5 millivolts. So, okay, that's 2, 1.6, 1.25 millivolts. Now, that's starting to get pretty hard to read with all the noise. And by the way, if you've been watching this, that kind of lost track. Okay, here I'm going to jump up real fast. 3.9 millivolts. That's close. Let's go up a little bit higher. See, let's pay attention where that kind of loses the ability to read. So there's 8 millivolts. So it's close. It's 8.8. Okay, if I'm at 12.5 millivolts, it says 13.6. So it's close. 16 millivolts, I'm getting 17.4. Now, you know what? Let me go over here. Okay, I've already got the 20 meg bandwidth limit on. Okay, I wanted to make sure I had this on there. Kind of helps filter it. If I go full, it's even more noisy. So let's go 20 meg. Okay, so that's looking better, right? All right, so here, let's drop back down. So yeah, around 16 millivolts, 17.4. See, if I almost got the full window here, so 21.7, and I'm at about 20. So not too far off, but okay, so let's go. Now I could turn this on averaging and probably smooth it off a little bit, but the point is I want to see how low I can go. So let's go down. There's 6 millivolts. There's 1.99. There's 630 microvolts. So I'd say that's the point of where we can barely tell it's a sine wave in there, and that's 0. Okay, so there's 200 microvolts. Can't really see anything. 250, 315, and 400. You can start seeing something. There's 500 microvolts. So that's pretty hard to be able to determine what that is, right? All right, guys, this is a PicoScope, okay, on my MacBook. So you can see, now this is 500 millivolts. I'll just try to hold the camera steady and I'll bring it down, okay? So 500 millivolts. We're at 1.5 millivolts. I just took a big jump. 500 microvolts. And look, we can still see kind of a signal. Now here, let me check this because I don't think I've turned on any filter. Oh, I do. I have the 1 meg on. So see, it looks really trashy, but I can put the 1 meg. I can actually put 100K on. And I can actually even do more, but some digital filtering. But okay, so I'm not going to try to, I mean, I could try to freeze the waveform, but we're just trying to see if we can see any definition, right? Okay, so that's 500 microvolts, 400, 315, 250, and 200. That's as low as I can go. And I can still see kind of a waveform. Now here, hold on a sec. I forgot. I got to get the measurements on there just so we can see what we're measuring. So I'll do RMS and I'll do frequency. I could set up some things on those windows you saw, but Okay, so right here, look at this. We're at 200 microvolts. Here, let me freeze it. It's kind of jumping around. It says 270 and it says 300 kilohertz. So yeah, it thinks it's, I mean, the frequency, it's getting pretty hard to tell with the noise and stuff. But, you know, it's actually interesting how close you can see this. Now, this guy here, by the way, it's on the auto scale. So we're down 10 millivolt scale. So yeah, there we go. So the Pico actually can still show you a signal at 200 microvolts. But here, I'm going to show you on the GWN stick, the 8-bit scope. Now, by the way, this is on 12 bits up here. Okay, it's 12 bits. And I don't think going to 14 bits is going to... you know, somebody told me that there's a bug that it's actually always 14-bit. That the 12 and 14, which I kind of would believe that because I haven't seen a big change when I do that. Now I can also come over here and go to, let's see, where is it? The DSP, and I can increase it here up to, okay, there's 15 bits. Look at that. Now, I mean, you know, the triggering is getting hard to capture, right? I guess I'd have to try to bring this up to, I could do some, there's a lot of ways to do the triggering to freeze things on these scopes, especially this one because it's got digital triggering, but try to make the video shorter. So here, let me just freeze it in a moment like that. 211 microvolts. That is pretty close to what we're seeing. Isn't that amazing? Now the frequency is off because, of course, it's having a hard time with that. I could always pull cursors over because I can see the sine wave pretty clearly. So I can pull the cursors over. And up here, it says 4.6K. But I didn't place those as accurately as I could have. Like if I move it over. Yeah, 5.02K. So yeah, I mean, so you can read what the signal is and everything just by using these high bit counts. But I'm going to show you another way to do it, okay? Let's go back to the GWN stick. Okay, there's our 200 microvolts, 5K. And that's what it looks like on the GW. But check it out. We can go to our FFT, our spectrum. And wait a minute. Look at that. Now, it says 4.999K, 74.4 dBs, which is, guys, 74 dBs. Isn't that amazing? So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. So, when you can't see the signal in your voltage, the spectrum, you might be able to get away and capture it there. Okay, that's pretty crazy, right? Now here, just to show you, I'm going to increase the frequency. It's 5K, 6.3. You're going to see it jump over. It's got to do some math. 6.3. Just move it again. 8K. It's going to jump over here. Oh, there we go. Look at that. 7.999, 8K, 74.4. And we're at 73, 8K. Pretty cool, right? Oh, you want to see it on the Pico? Of course you do. Let's get this running. Let's go to spectrum. And this says 8.33 meg up here. So I am going to change that down to match to GW down to 20K. I can just hit the window here and just jump down 20K. And look at that. Look at that big old spike. Here's the grass, right? The fuzziness, the weeds, down the grass, however you want to say it. And look at that. Big old spike. So that's really easy to see. Oh, and by the way, it says 200. Now it's not reading it quite accurately down here. It says 271 microvolts. So let me try something else. I don't know if this is going to be any better. Okay, this is the spectrum measurements. It's still trying to read off the voltage. So we're going to do spectrum, okay? And I could set up things in this window, but I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to do frequency too at the peak. Okay, so that was the first one I did. Let me see, where is, oh, it's reading the amplitude here. Let's go, can I do this in volts? Thought I could. Let me see. All right, I don't want to waste your time trying to figure this out, but I think I can change this to volts instead of decibels. But yeah, there we go. I'd have to do the conversion. It says 71.9 dB and it's at 73.8, so it's pretty close, right? And up here it's like 300 microvolts. Now, you know what? Maybe I should go up here to the channel and go in the DSP and set this back to just get rid of all that DSP stuff. We'll go back to 12. And I'm just wondering if that'll get it. Looks like it's dropping. Got to give it a moment to count. But yeah, this says 300. And oh yeah, it does say 7.99K, so it does read the frequency right. And yeah, this guy was the frequency off of the oscilloscope function. Okay, these two are the oscilloscope. This one down here and this one over here are the spectrum. Look, 72. It's kind of bouncing around, but it's pretty close. So that's pretty darn good that we're getting that good a reading with, and we can actually see it right up here. And I can take my marker down here and put it right there at the tip of that guy. And yeah, about 72.44. And I guess I can move one of these guys over just to show you. Line it right up on that spike. And 7.9. Now you can also just type it in here and then have it show you where it places it. There we go. Looks like it's right on top of the line. So guys, there's how you can use FFT or the spectrum to take a measurement that's really hard to read otherwise. We're reading down at 200 microvolts. All right, guys, so what do you think of that? I hope that was helpful. Might help you learn how to use your FFT so you can see small signals. The FFT is pretty cool. You just have to play with it a little bit. So there you go. There's a way you might be able to read a small signal that's otherwise hard to read in the time domain, right? So you go into frequency domain where across the bottom it's frequencies, and yeah, that might help you. All right, and then you can also see if other frequencies are popping up that might be hard to see, which also this gives you an insight on how when you have, say, a 1 kilohertz signal and there might be some high frequency on top of that, you might see that in other little spikes out the high frequency zone. So yeah, use FFT. Yeah, try it out. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Hit the like. That's a free way to support the channel. Subscribe if you haven't done so. And 2 big thumbs up to my patrons and YouTube members. And Danny for being a team member. Thanks. Appreciate that. And you can become one of those members. Links down below. There's a super thank you button down there too. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.